The Art of War by Sun Tzu is one of the most influential military treatises ever written. The book is divided into 13 chapters, each dedicated to a specific aspect of warfare. While it focuses primarily on military strategy, its principles have been adapted for use in business, leadership, and personal development. Here's a detailed recap of each chapter and its key concepts. Chapter 1. Laying Plans. The first chapter discusses the importance of strategic planning. Sun Tzu emphasizes that careful preparation is essential for success. He outlines 5 essential factors that need to be considered when making plans. Moral law, ensuring that the people and the army are united in purpose. Heaven, understanding the natural forces like weather and seasonal timing. Earth, recognizing the terrain and geographic advantages. The commander, a skilled, wise, and disciplined leader, is critical. Method and discipline, efficient organization and control of resources. The chapter stresses that knowing both yourself and your enemy is crucial. By understanding the strengths and weaknesses of both, you can adapt your strategy to win without unnecessary conflict. Chapter 2. Waging War. This chapter discusses the broader concept of war and the necessity of balancing the costs of conflict. Sun Tzu explains that war requires resources, manpower, and time. He advises that war should be waged only when necessary and that the duration should be as short as possible to avoid wasting resources. The importance of maintaining high morale and avoiding prolonged battles that could deplete your resources is emphasized. Chapter 3. Attack by Stratagem. Here, Sun Tzu focuses on the importance of deception and strategy. The best way to defeat an enemy is often by misleading them, creating confusion, and using feints. He suggests that one should keep the enemy off balance and unsure of your true intentions. Subterfuge and the art of surprise play critical roles in gaining an advantage. He also advises that your actions should be unpredictable and that you should create multiple layers of strategy to keep your opponent guessing. Chapter 4. Tactical Dispositions. This chapter explains how to organize and position your forces in battle. Sun Tzu advocates for flexibility and the ability to adapt to any situation. Successful warfare depends on knowing when and how to respond to changes in the battlefield's conditions. Sun Tzu stresses that it's essential to control your own forces, create the right environment, and always have the initiative. Chapter 5. Energy. In this chapter, Sun Tzu discusses the use of resources and energy in warfare. Efficiency and discipline are central themes. Rather than using force in all situations, Sun Tzu advocates for using energy or resources in the most effective and efficient way. Just as a general should know when to attack, they must also know when to conserve their resources, avoid wasteful movements, and exploit their enemy's weaknesses at the right moment. Chapter 6. Weak Points and Strong. This chapter delves into the concept of knowing both your own and your enemy's strengths and weaknesses. Sun Tzu emphasizes that success comes from exploiting an enemy's vulnerabilities while protecting your own weaknesses. He advises that the key to victory is to create situations where you can strike when and where the enemy is least prepared. The ability to discern these weaknesses is what leads to effective tactics and strategy. Chapter 7. Maneuvering. Maneuvering is about understanding when and where to fight, as well as how to outmaneuver your enemy to maintain the upper hand. This chapter underscores the importance of mobility, flexibility, and the element of surprise. Sun Tzu also notes that adapting to changing circumstances and terrain is essential for successful operations. Knowing when to engage and when to retreat is equally important for maintaining control over the situation. Chapter 8. Variation in Tactics. Sun Tzu argues that consistency in tactics can make an army predictable and vulnerable. Instead, he stresses the need for flexibility and variation in strategy. By changing tactics frequently, you keep the enemy uncertain about your next move, preventing them from anticipating your actions. Creativity, innovation, and unpredictability are key to staying one step ahead. Chapter 9. Engaging the Enemy. In this chapter, Sun Tzu explores the importance of timing and knowing when to engage in battle. He advises that sometimes it's best to avoid conflict until the right conditions are in place. He suggests that a strong position of defense is often superior to an aggressive offensive. The key to engaging the enemy is to ensure that you are in control of the situation with an advantage that forces the enemy into a disadvantageous position. Adaptability. This chapter underscores the importance of being flexible and responsive to the changing environment. Leaders must remain open to new tactics and adjustments in response to the dynamics of the battle. Strategic advantage. Sun Tzu stresses the significance of positioning, terrain, and timing in gaining an upper hand over the opponent. By leveraging these factors, a leader can shape the battlefield in their favor. Employment of spies. In this final chapter, Sun Tzu highlights the critical role of espionage and intelligence in gaining strategic advantages. The information gathered through spies is vital for making informed decisions and ensuring that the enemy's movements and strategies are anticipated. Key concepts and ideas. The importance of deception. One of the most famous and enduring ideas from the art of war is the use of deception in warfare. Sun Tzu famously states, "All warfare is based on deception," meaning that misdirection and surprise are crucial elements in achieving success. Know yourself and your enemy. Sun Tzu stresses the need for self-awareness and understanding one's own strengths and weaknesses. Additionally, understanding the enemy is essential for predicting their moves and avoiding costly mistakes. He famously writes, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." Flexibility and adaptation. The art of war advocates for a flexible approach to warfare. The ability to adapt to changing circumstances and outthink the opponent is a hallmark of successful strategy. Predictability, on the other hand, can lead to defeat. Psychological warfare. Beyond traditional tactics, the art of war highlights the power of psychological warfare. A commander's ability to influence the enemy's morale, sow confusion, and create fear or uncertainty can be just as important as military strength. Efficient use of resources. Sun Tzu advocates for the effective and efficient use of resources, understanding when to fight and when to conserve strength. The book emphasizes minimizing waste, both in terms of manpower and materials. The element of surprise. Sun Tzu underscores the importance of keeping the enemy uncertain about one's intentions. By surprising the opponent with unexpected moves, one can seize the advantage and put them at a disadvantage. Indirect methods of attack. Instead of relying solely on direct confrontation, Sun Tzu emphasizes the value of indirect strategies. These can include deception, manipulation, and unconventional methods that lead to victory without a prolonged and costly conflict. Influence and legacy. The art of war has had a profound impact not only on military strategy, but also on a wide range of disciplines. Its timeless wisdom has been applied to politics, business management, sports, and even personal growth. The principles outlined in the treatise have influenced countless leaders and thinkers throughout history, including figures like Napoleon Bonaparte, Mao Zedong, and General Dwight D. Eisenhower. In modern times, the art of war is frequently referenced in the context of business strategy and leadership, with its teachings offering valuable insights into competition, negotiation, and decision-making. The emphasis on adaptability, strategic thinking, and psychological insight makes it relevant in today's complex and fast-paced world. The work has been translated into numerous languages and continues to be studied by military leaders, strategists, scholars, and business professionals. Its core principles, strategy, preparation, flexibility, and the effective use of resources, remain as applicable today as they were in ancient China. Conclusion: the art of war is far more than a manual on military tactics. It is a guide to understanding the nature of conflict, the human psyche, and how to achieve success through strategy and wisdom. Sun Tzu's lessons transcend the battlefield, offering profound insights into leadership, decision-making, and conflict resolution. Its teachings remain a vital part of the world's intellectual heritage and continue to inspire leaders across diverse fields.